George Pickens, this report from the Dallas Morning News. The Dallas Morning News reports that the Cowboys, if they use the franchise tag on George Pickens, there's a strong possibility that he will not report to the offseason programs and thus start to hold out. Now, the problem with Jerry is that he's probably nowhere near close to paying what George Pickens wants right now. And the reason this thing probably turns into a massive, massive holdout situation is because the price of George Pickens goes up the minute JSN gets his deal. Now, before we're not done here, but let me swing over in this direction and talk about JSN. I've got different pieces of news here. JSN, the Seahawks plan to sign Jackson Smith-Njigba and Devin Weatherspoon to a contract extensions this offseason, and the expectation is they're going to do it sooner, not later. And that number is going to drag George Pickens' expected top five wide receiver pay up a scale or two. So the more Jerry waits, and Jerry will wait, Jerry's going to drag his feet. Now you might say, Smitty, but they just signed Javonte Williams really quickly, Smitty. Maybe. And good for Javonte. Let's give Javonte a mother freaking standing ovation. I'll tell you that. And shout out to Star Trikes. They get a standing ovation.
I smell meatloaf.
So just want to let him know I still appreciate him. But what do you guys think of that Star Trike? The Star Trikes. What do you guys think? Man, which color? White? Where was I? George Pickens. JSN. So this is the problem. Jerry doesn't want to pay what George Pickens commands right now. Let's say it's wide receiver 5, 6, or 7. Bruce likes the white trike. That's pretty cool. Smitty says Wild Bill. We'll be doing a lot, I think, with this company regardless. I really like it. I really want one of these bad. And your boy Smitty's getting his the side of my yard widened because I could fit things like that, toys on the side. So I kind of need it. Bill, appreciate you. So when George Pickens wants top 5, 6 wide receiver money right now, and that costs, let's say, $40 million per year, which is what it's going to cost to get a guy that just finishes the number wide receiver. Guys, number 5 wide receiver is what Georgie boy finished in 2025. Let me show you the stats in case you don't believe me. Number five, if it'll load. Number 5, right there. Who thinks he doesn't deserve top 5 wide receiver numbers? The problem is that number changes the moment JSN and Puka Nacua sign contracts. The holdout's inevitable. Jerry's not paying it. He may have paid Javonte early, but Javonte's getting peanuts. He's getting small potatoes compared to what a wide receiver is going to get. Javonte's getting $8 million per year, $16 million guaranteed, and you're talking about $8 million a year. Only $16 million guaranteed. George Pickens is going to ask for $40 million, 100 plus or 90 plus something fully guaranteed. 90 million or 100 million, 16 million guaranteed. $8 million per year, $40 million per year. Don't use Javonte as he did it, so maybe Jerry's going to do it and do the right thing and sign Georgie boy really quickly. Smitty, he seems to be on top of things this offseason. It's not even close to the same thing. Running backs get paid so badly comparatively to wide receivers, and George Pickens gets top 5 wide receiver numbers, which will escalate as these wide receivers sign their extensions, JSN and Puka Nacua. This is going to get messy, and I believe that the messiness will lead to a potential trade. The only problem is if the Dallas Cowboys want to fill a void that is left by the vacancy of a departing George Pickens, by the time this thing unravels, there's a good chance the NFL draft is over. There's a almost absolute chance that there's no free agent wide receivers left. By the time these things usually unravel, we don't know what in the hell is going to happen. So there's a good chance that maybe this thing boils up right before draft day. That's what we need it to do. If this thing's going to end up being a trade or a potential trade, we need it to be blown up by the draft, because that is the last ditch effort for the Cowboys to say it's worth it for us to just get rid of him. He's a problem. He's holding out, which we won't agree with. Jerry will say this all by himself, but we need that problem to blow up where the Cowboys can say at least we can fill the vacancy through the draft. You know, they could sign another wide receiver in free agency, which would be an indication that they're trying to trade Pickens, by draft day or on draft day. But this has got to happen. This has to blow up. Pickens has to make a big stink, and we can blame him all we want, get mad at him. But Pickens needs to make a big stink and make this trade happen. If it's going to happen anyway, we need him to do it before the NFL draft. Breece Hall, according to this report, this is from Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, the belief in league circles is that the Jets are applying the transition tag on Breece Hall. That is a different tag than the franchise tag. The transition tag is average of the top 10 salaries across the NFL, and other teams can talk, negotiate, and make offers to a said player, Breece Hall, and then they can take Breece Hall off of the Jets roster. If the Jets say that's too much money, we refuse to match that amount, then Breece Hall goes bye-bye and compensation goes toward the New York Jets. Breece Hall getting transition tagged versus franchise tagged is a far, far, far more likely situation that results in him being on a different team in 2026. This almost tells you that he's gone. Now, there's a chance that a team doesn't offer him the biggest deal in the world and that the Jets match it. Like, this could backfire on us, as we expect it to be a better thing, right? It could go either way. But I think in general, there are enough teams interested, the KC Chiefs, the New Orleans Saints, the Minnesota Vikings, the Washington Commanders, all four of those teams specifically might want Breece Hall at the cost of giving him a massive offer that the Jets won't say yes to. And what's that number got to be? I'll tell you, it's real simple math. It's real simple math, ladies and gentlemen. It looks a little something like this. If the average annual salary of a running back on the franchise tag, which I think I have that number. Let me ask Ziggy. Ziggy, what is the franchise tag amount for running backs and wide receivers in 2026? I think it's...
For 2025, the franchise tag for running backs is $13.64 million.
13.
And for wide receivers, it's $23.96 million.
Isn't it 20?
26 amounts aren't available yet.
Isn't it $28 million for a wide receiver? Ziggy, are you right on that? Do we have to ask our other AI? What are we doing here? Let's ask Krug.
The franchise tag for wide receivers in 2026 is $28.037 million.
Did he cite 2025 numbers? Ziggy, turn off! Ziggy, turn off! You're fired. Turn off. Turn off. Kruger, hold on it. Kruger, hold on a second. All right, Kruger. Let's go over to Kruger. Kruger, what is the franchise tag for running backs this year in the offseason? We're in the 2026 offseason. Zigmeister thought we were in the 2025. What a moron, right? What's the wide receiver franchise tag? What's the running back franchise tag? Go. Let me hurry on that for you, Smitty.
For the 2026 NFL offseason, the projected franchise tag for wide receivers is about $28.04 million. And for running backs, it's about 14.1.
Okay, so 14, 20, let's just use roughly. Okay, so $14 million for RBs and $28 million for wide receivers. So the simple formula here is, how do we offer Breece Hall a deal that the Jets say we're not matching that? Goodbye, Breece Hall. You want it to be exceeding that amount, or at least the guaranteed money and the overall term really flexes the Jets out to where they're like, we're not, that's a huge commitment. If the Jets are unwilling to franchise tag Breece Hall at $14 million, they're almost certainly saying that that's not a deal. Otherwise, they just sell us franchise tag him, guarantee we keep him. We pay him for $14 million, no skin off our back. If 14 is a problem, then that's the number you need to reach. I'm sure you could get away with like 13 on a 3-year, 4-year deal, where there's probably about $20 million guaranteed, $18 to $22 million guaranteed is what you're going to be giving Hall. That alone will be uncomfortable for the Jets to take. They're not willing to spend 14 for 1 year. They're not willing to spend probably 12 to 13 for a 3 or 4 year deal with, like I said, 18 to 20 million guaranteed. Then the team just says no. And if there's competition, then of course things can get more interesting. Yeah. So that's the way I look at that. So I think Breece Hall, I don't want to say it's as good as gone, but it's feeling real likely. This is a report here, and maybe the Cardinals do get involved. I've heard this multiple times. So it makes me feel like Benson's either just being discarded by the masses and they have no real evidence as to why. They just don't feel it. Or there's something that's going to come out on Benson too. Because there's a lot of people that I don't want to say are tied to any insider information, but maybe they're beat writers and they're people that kind of hear whispers, and maybe there's a vibe going on that's not yet circulated throughout the entire news industry and news cycle. But they keep referencing no Brissett. Every time I hear a talking head talk about the Cardinals, there's no Brissett. There's no talk about mother freaking Benson. And you just wonder what the Cardinals are going to do. Now, I know the Cardinals have been good running the ball, but this is a new staff, new system, new everything. I hate Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett's the one that wouldn't give Javonte Williams the starting job the year he tore his ACL. He kept rotating running backs. And we don't know how much Nathaniel Hackett's going to have his meat hooks into this running back decision-making. So we don't want Breece Hall, regardless of LaFleur calling plays. We don't want Breece Hall going to Arizona. And the Arizona Cardinals could be a potential suitor for Breece Hall, according to this report. I'm not saying put a fork in him, but I certainly would curb my expectation a little bit. As I said, JSN looking to get a contract extension done sooner than later, which will affect Puka Nacua. Unless Puka Nacua gets his contract signed earlier, then that'll affect JSN, and both of them will affect George Pickens, and both will affect George Pickens in that Jerry's not going to react or up his price. Jerry's going to say, I don't want to pay top 5 now. I certainly don't want to pay top 5 when top 5 becomes bigger when JSN and Puka sign their extensions. George Kittle, according to this ESPN Nick Wagner report, they believe it's reasonable. The Achilles tendon tear, very brutal injury for an older player that probably has his other Achilles ready to explode. I just want to tell you that they wear down to the same degree. So the other one's vulnerable. George Pickens coming back by week 5 or so, week 5 to 7 is feasible. Rushing back any sooner, or even by then, it puts him at risk. J.K. Dobbins, according to this report, Athletic, the Broncos are expected to explore multiple options before they go toward J.K. Dobbins being brought back. Honestly, I don't mind them bringing back any sub, par running back like J.K. or anybody. I don't want them drafting a young Jonah Coleman or a rookie like Price or Emmett Johnson. So we're better off having J.K. than any of those young bucks. And I certainly don't care about bringing in any other player like J.K. So they're going to have a backup, so it doesn't bother me. And we're hearing that they want to run Harvey more. I'm excited about Harvey. NFL Competition Committee co-chairman said that the committee has received 0 requests to ban the tush push thus far in the offseason. That's kind of surprising. I think more teams are adapting to it. More teams are starting to like it. The Bills were awful at using it in 2024. They're a lot better about using it in 2025. I think the NFL commissioner is okay with not pushing through his agenda on it if the other teams are not, panicking. It doesn't sound like this is going to go away for sure like we thought it might, and that is good for Jalen Hurts' fantasy value, but the commissioner still might want it gone, and if he does, it's gone. So that's the commissioner. He didn't have any time to prepare for this last year. So last year he didn't think he was going to run into so much resistance, and he wasn't able to get it done. But if he wants to, he's going to be ultra prepared this year. The commissioner, it's corrupt. It's a corrupt system. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right. We'll talk about these topics and more. Appreciate every single one of you. And let me see. Travis says, I think the Dolphins go defense at number 11. They certainly could. Hard to say what these teams are going to do. Wrong button. Dolphins at 11 certainly could go in any direction. Their team is awful. Dallas ain't going RB if Jeremiah Love. Can you imagine if Jeremiah Love fell to 12 and Jerry didn't take him because of Javonte? You can't even concern yourself with that. You just try and trade Javonte at that point. You can't concern yourself with that. But Jerry wouldn't draft him. I know it. If Jeremiah Love fell there, I don't think he'll fall, but you never know. It depends. KC and New Orleans go in different directions, and it just takes that to have trigger some sort of drop. But Dolphins probably at 11 are looking at 10,000 different things. New Orleans, Jeremiah Love. KC, Jeremiah Love. Washington, Jeremiah Love. So 7, 8, 9 is probably the Jeremiah Love territory. Tennessee, I really hope it's going to be Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate. Jordan Tyson would fit a little bit better there. I'm a little bit afraid, though, if Carnell Tate's there, he could go to the Giants. And if Tyson goes to Tennessee, then Carnell Tate could go to the Giants. If Carnell Tate somehow went to Tennessee, and I feel like they're more of a Tyson fit. But if Tate did go to Tennessee, then I don't know the Giants would take Tyson. Tyson would probably have a vulnerability to go to either Cleveland or Washington, and I love him in Washington. Don't want him in New Orleans because he'll play second fiddle to Olave. Kind of like Cleveland more than like the Giants, where he can't be the number one, but that offense is a concern, of course. Of course. So, dial in, and we'll discuss it. Tush pushes rugby. I mean, that's what a lot of people feel, but it seems like the teams don't really care anymore. So, it's 0 draft picks on what? I don't know what you're discussing. Anyone want to draft? Not right now, Southwest. We're going to do phone calls for a little bit, and we'll get to it. But I do have exciting news about thefantasyfootballshow.com. As I told you guys, I'm working on a bunch of different tools, and this particular tool I am ultra excited about. My draft simulator that I've been spending literally 4 days now, practically. Been spending 4 days on this bad boy, and this isn't yet up on thefantasyfootballshow.com for use, but it will soon be. And so the draft simulator, it looks a little something like this. You select whether you want a 16, 14, 12, 10, or 18 draft. You select whether you want it to be 12 rounds, 6 rounds, 20 rounds, whatever you want. Let's just make this an 8-rounder for now. Some people like to draft all the way through. Some people don't. What pick do you want? Let's go ahead and grab ourselves the 5 pick. You can select Dynasty. You can select Superflex, which opens up Superflex Dynasty or Superflex Redraft. You can do a rookie-only draft. It's linear. And these drafts are snake draft by default. Let's do a Dynasty 12-team 8-round pick 5. Boom. And we are on the clock immediately. And so there's no real ticking down. I've toyed around with having it kind of check all the names off and you wait and see every pick be made, but who cares really? I just, we're impatient people, and instantly you're just on the clock. I think it's smoother. There's going to be less hiccups with it, but I'll explore the other opportunity potentially. So we're on the clock right here. Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go ahead and draft Jahmyr Gibbs. Boom. Snakes around. You're on the clock again instantly. Now, there is formulas and equations in here for variance. So this isn't where you're just drafting, and if you draft from this pick, you're going to see the same players fall every single time. It's going to have variance to it. So it'll be a different draft every time you draft, which is what you want when you're mock drafting, different scenarios. Now you say to yourself, well, what's my team? Let's draft one more, McBride. We'll go McBride here. We're on the clock again. What's my team? Boom. There's your team. You got Gibbs, you got McBride. Okay, so go back to the board. What about cheat sheet? This thing is compiling a cheat sheet as we draft. The players that are not grayed out have been drafted already. And the players that the players that are grayed out have been drafted already. The players that are not grayed out, let's see here. It should be. Let me see if I have to fix this. Right now it looks fine. I think we just need to complete the draft. But let's say you're drafting and you're like, I think I want to call back in 1 second. Let's say I'm done. I want to simulate this thing. Click that button, simulate draft at the top. It simulates the entire draft. This right here you can use as a damn cheat sheet. Click on the player, redline them. You're in your draft. You can literally redline these players from the results board for your draft and keep track of who has been drafted and who's not. You go to cheat sheet mode here at the top, and here's the exact same thing. The red lines carry over. Bijan's redlined. If I uncheck and unredline Bijan here and I go back to the draft board, Bijan has been unredlined. If I redline Bijan here, it re-redlines him on the cheat sheet. Here's the cheat sheet. You can restart. Like I said, you can do all kinds of things. This will be up on, and you can even do this. Check this out. I want to build my own draft board. 5th pick, 8 rounds, 12 team. click this manual build your draft board button that's right here underneath the start draft button. You click that. Now you're in control. Let me click on board again. Now you're in control of every pick. I still selected my draft slot of the number 5 overall, but I'm in control of every pick. I can select Puka Nacua here. I can select Justin Jefferson here, whatever you want to do. And then you basically create this draft board. This is how you can create your own set of rankings. So you just put it as many players in the order you want, then go back to your cheat sheet. Let me just simulate this. You can still simulate this if you want, but you wouldn't want to simulate a manual draft unless you were just trying to simulate the first 3 rounds or something. But you're simulating the draft how you want it, putting the players in the exact order you want. And then once the build your manual draft load is done, you go to cheat sheet. Now you have a draft cheat sheet that you built specifically with your order. And you can check and redline these off as they get taken. You can take this into your draft. It's such an amazing tool. I've been working on it for literally 4 days, man. I haven't even got much sleep. So we'll be doing a lot of mock drafts with this bad boy, but unbelievable tool coming to the fantasyfootballshow.com. I imagine I'll have it up by tomorrow afternoon or late tomorrow night, if not earlier, and then at least by Tuesday. So you'll be able to get this on the fantasyfootballshow.com. I also have a lineup analyzer for the weekly stuff, which is fantastic. But that draft simulator is amazing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, phone lines are open briefly. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Let's see here. You're live. Who's this?
Hey, Smitty, Michael from San Diego.
What's up, Michael?
A quick one for you. Do you think Michael Wilson in Dynasty is more of a buy or a sell? I kind of feel like he's a buy, but
Michael Wilson?
Opinion. Yeah.
I guess he's kind of both. It just depends on the cost of entry. I think in general, I feel like Michael Wilson is getting undervalued in general, so I think you could probably buy him pretty cheaply. I think some people are worried about if they don't take advantage of the value he brought you last year at all. No one's expecting you to be able to sell the man at an amazing price right now, but I think a lot of people. Let me find my Michael Wilson graphic. Where's the bad boy? Here it is. I think that some people. I think if you own him, you're a little bit cautious to sell him low. So he's kind of a hard player to acquire because the asking price, a lot of people want what he was last year initially. They're like, well, he's a top 10, right? And you're like, I'm not paying a top 8 to 10 wide receiver value, But then again, it's like, I don't know anybody expects to get that exact value, so they might come down a little bit. But he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy to buy, I think. Now, selling him, people don't want to buy him either. It's like he's a real tough player to move. You don't see much movement.
Yeah, I sent AJ Brown in a 27, what I think is a mid first. Saquon Barkley and Michael Wilson. I thought that was a good pivot for me. I'm just wondering because I do look at the games that Marvin played down the stretch, and the games that Marvin played, he didn't really get a lot of volume. So I'm wondering if it's just Marvin was out and Brissett was feeding him, or if that was real.
Yeah. Hard to say. I mean, we don't know. What it comes down to is, more importantly, will the Cardinals start Jacoby Brissett? If they start Jacoby Brissett, then why would we expect Wilson not to be a monster again? But if they end up
even with Marvin there, you're not concerned.
Well, Wilson was amazing. I'm not concerned at all. This is Wilson's team. If Brissett's throwing on the ball, but every time you hear, and I'm not saying the Cardinals are necessarily the culprits here, but every time you hear a talking head, ESPN person, anybody on the radio, anywhere, it's always like, what are the Cardinals going to do at quarterback? It's like, were you guys not around last year? I don't care if he's older, he's the best option and he's under contract. What is going on here? If anything, I extend Jacoby Brissett because he knows his place. He can't go command top 5 to 10 quarterback money at his age. So you extend him, make it team friendly, and you attempt to start this man. You could draft a young guy under him. If you could get somebody at a proper, at the proper place in the draft, it would be something you could consider. but I don't understand what in the hell people are talking about. But because I don't hear the Cardinals adamant about this situation, there's a real strong chance that they are also not looking at Brissett as their starter. I hear things like Aaron Rodgers from people as suggestions. It's maddening. I don't know what in the hell people are talking about. Jacoby Brissett was a top 5 to 6 quarterback the entire time he started last year. He was unbelievable. But to answer your question, the ambiguity around it all, from Arizona, from other people talking about it, it makes it tough to evaluate. That's why you draft Wilson as your third wide receiver in a best ball underdog promo code Smitty fantasy draft. And it's, you're looking at a moment of time where you're like, damn, I got a good deal. He's my third wide receiver. And I didn't even scrimp at running back or whatever. I have a really well-built team and he's my third wide receiver. You feel like you stole him away. But then for a moment in time, you realize that this team could rely on Kyler Murray and not trade him. I don't think they're just going to, it's hard to say what they're going to do with Kyler. It's hard to say if someone will buy him. It's hard to say if they want to keep him versus cut him. And then they say we can't trade him. So we're just going to start him. It's hard to know, man. Wilson goes away if Kyler's starting. Because MHJ goes away if Kyler's... there's no one's doing well with Kyler there. Now, Kyler could do well if he goes somewhere, gets revamped. But in Arizona, I feel like he's cooked.
Yeah. No, I think the situation played itself out. I agree with you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Like I said, I'm trying to buy it. Michael Wilson. So, yeah. Thanks for the...
Yeah. All right. Later, bro.
Yeah.
Dial in if you guys have anything else you want to add to this. I don't know how much longer we'll be here tonight. I was going to do a underdog draft. I'll probably wait until tomorrow to start kicking those into gear fully. But please get ready, be on standby for this draft tool. I can't wait to bring you guys more of this draft tool, and you're going to love this thing. You're going to love it. I mean, the ability to so I'm going to reset the draft right here. The ability to just choose. You want to go Superflex Dynasty? You want to go Superflex Redraft? You want to go Rookie Only? Let's do a Rookie Only draft. Do that. Boom. Redraft 12 team. Let's go from the 2 pick. Let's just do 6 rounds, 12 teamer. Start the draft. Go to board view because I had cheat sheet selected. JSN was the number 1 overall pick. We're going to go ahead and take Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs is taken. Boom. Snakes around immediately. No waiting. I don't know if you guys like the ticking of each pick or if you just like to say, look, I'm an impatient person. I don't need to watch every pick go down. I know with their computer picks, so why do I need to see it happen? I just feel like this is a little more efficient. But you guys can give me your input. Let's go Georgie boy Pickens right here. Let's go with Breece Hall right here. Gibbs, Pickens. Wow. Breece Hall. Let's roll with a Ladd McConkey. No, Derrick Henry's still there. Some of this data needs to be updated. It's kind of dummy data right now. That's part of the last step. Why I haven't released it yet is because I pasted in some data that needs to be moved around. But that is at thefantasyfootballshow.com, ladies and gentlemen. And I appreciate you all watching this be shown off, and you're gonna love it. It's an amazing tool. Can't wait. All right. Any final phone calls before we get out of here?
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yep. Michael Wilson's a good topic, though. I mean, Michael from San Diego's not wrong to wonder what his value is. Pickens, man, we're gonna be here quite a bit, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna be here quite a bit talking about this topic. This is just the beginning. It looks like we had a missed call just now. Call in again. There he is. DJ, you're live.
Best on the planet, Smitty. Pickens. Yeah, I think we were talking about it earlier in the year. It's very well to be a cluster. In particular with JSN getting the contract, you got to strike while the iron's hot. I think he should, of course, wait till Pickens signs. He's not going to get the Pickens money. But Jerry's the problem, right?
Who's not going to get Pickens money?
No, Pickens won't get JSN's money.
Oh,
so I think he should wait, obviously, for Pickens' contract, right?
Yeah, but here's the problem, Lynn. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying that he's wrong, but let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just say 5 money is going to be, I don't know. What do we speculate it's going to be? Do we think number 5 is 40 million? Is it 37 million? Is it 38 million? Like, what are we considering top 5 money right now, today, not after Nakua and JSN signed deals? What do we expect it to be today? Do we think it's 38 million per year? Is that what's going to be required of Jerry right now today? 38 million times on a 4-year deal with 100 mil guaranteed. Like, is that what we're thinking? Guys in the chat, throw out a
52 over the 4, 30. Well, let's go with that. 35,
so
40.
Let's just say this is number 5, okay? Yeah. The moment, and we got JJ up here, the moment we have JSN and Puka come up here and sign likely 41 and 43 or 40, maybe Puka's 40 million and JSN's 43 million per year, whatever it is. Maybe it's 45. I remember when we talked about $45 million or $40 million for JJ, people were like, there's no way we're getting 40 million. Like, it happens quickly. It escalates quickly. Let's say it's 42 million a year. The moment we have, 3 people in the 40s, then all of a sudden Pickens, whether he deserves it or not, whether he's correct in his thinking, his expectation of getting 38 or 40 million now goes up to 42, 41, 40. And the likelihood of Pickens wanting to sign with what Jerry's willing to offer goes down with every extension that happens. It's not like Jerry's going to fluctuate up with it. It's going to be a disaster. So we're truly wanting, and even if I'm George Pickens' agent, to be honest with you, I'm wanting to sign before JSN and Puka sign in some respects, because the moment they do, we're at a total holdout. Because there's no way Jerry's going to be on the same page as Pickens once JSN and Puka pull that money up, the average of it up. I just think it's going to be a disaster, which is why I said we're going to have freaking like 15 live streams on Pickens in the offseason. This is like number 3 or 4 already.
Well, I'm curious, but so is Pickens a free agent? I think he is. I know I've been watching it, but is he restricted or is he free? Because if he waits and signs, somebody's going to pay him. If not Jerry. So I would think Pickens has the leverage. Jerry may not pay him. So I think I would wait, because he's not going to get. I don't think he's going to command that Puka and JSN salary. But like you said, it's going to go up for him.
Yeah.
So if he waits, because Jerry's not going to pay, but if he waits, somebody's going to pay him. And it will be, I believe, whatever that market is in that 3rd slot. Because Jerry's not, I don't think he is. And as much as we like Pickens, and I like to think that Pickens likes Dallas, he's going to get his bag.
Yeah.
I would think.
We'll see.
So I think that's his
let me ask. Let's ask Kruger. Let's ask Kruger real quick. Let me just see what Kruger thinks. Kruger. Let's see here. Kruger. Based on Justin Jefferson's contract, what's JJ getting? 40 mil a year. Let me see.
Justin Jefferson is making serious wide receiver bank. His deal puts him around that 35 to 40 million per year range, depending on bonuses and structure.
But what's his annual per year?
So his extension locked him in at roughly 35 million per year on average. The top end of that, with bonuses and incentives, can push it closer to 40 in certain years.
Okay.
The average, about 30.
I think. What do you expect George Pickens to require? If Puka Nacua is about to get an extension, that's going to be in the 40s, maybe. JSN's going to get an extension, that's going to be a 40 mil per year. What's before those strike? What's George Pickens' fair market value at, let's say, wide receiver 5 annually right now?
If you're forecasting ahead, Pickens shows consistent top-level play. The market inflation will definitely push him up. Right now, if you preemptively paid, he might be in the low 20 millions per year.
You don't know what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking. 20 million a year. What's he doing? And Jamar Chase is at what, 40? What are that? Let me fight. These guys are incompetent. These guys are absolutely incompetent. top wide receivers paid annually. We should have Jamar Chase at like 40. JJ at 35. Okay, here it is. CD at 34. These are the top three, I believe. This is what the results giving me. I'm not 100% sure that these numbers are exact. But Kruger, 20 million. Yeah, he should get paid a lot. Chase, 40. JJ, 35. See that jump, though? See how JJ was the highest at 35. And we're like, JJ, somebody could get 40. They're not going to get 40. JJ's 35. Jamar Chase, 40.25. So the moment we have three people at the 40 mark. So right here, I had it here. Let's just remove JJ and put Chase, because this is going to be, he's 40. This will be 41 probably for JSN. I bet 40 to 41. Puka will probably be 40. We'll have three people at 40. JJ will be number 4 at 35 million a year. And there's a chance that this could be 35 for Pickens. But is there a world where he signs for a lot lower than we think and it's like 33 to 35? Maybe. But I think the starting price is going to be 30. I think the starting price is 35 now, what JJ's getting. And the moment that these happen, Pickens wants to be at 40. But I don't think he'll get it. I just think that he will cause a stink and want 40 mil a year versus wanting 35 to 37 right now. That's the risk you pay. And it's such an easy thing. It's coming. So the fact that Jerry's going to be surprised that this thing's going to get ugly later is going to be head scratching to me, because we see it coming. We know what's happening right now. 30 to 35. It will be a $40 million request later. Worldwide appreciate you says, how much Chase Brown are you drafting this year? Huge USA Hockey win today. Epic game. I didn't see it. I wish I did. Chase Brown, how much Chase Brown? I'm drafting a lot. I would say that I don't want to oversaturate on Chase Brown. I will oversaturate a little bit on certain players. He's not necessarily one that I'm drafting at like a 30% clip. And I am trying to keep things lower than they were last year on some players. But honestly, last year was a good year on Underdog. And so, oversaturating when you hit it, a lot of Mahomes got me far in a lot of ways. But having Hendy, Harvey, Genty, and BTJ on a lot of teams, oversaturating did put me in where I had less teams advancing than I wanted, but the teams that advanced did really well. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Like the year you oversaturate and you land your mother freaking stuff, you are so much more likely to have a further advancing team because you have so many more chances. But, if you crash out, then you have a real low advance rate and things can crumble. You just got to, pick your poison. I think it's smart to diversify. I think there's such a good amount of runners this year. Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Bucky Irving in that territory. And those guys go a little after Breece Hall or after Chase Brown. That you can do diversification across your fantasy football portfolio smartly. And I think Chase Brown, it's just safe to have don't go above 15%. Maybe if you did, let's say 100 drafts, let's call it, you draft him in 15 of them. That's awesome. I don't think you need to lower that. I don't think you should be at 7 out of 100 drafts. I'm fine with 15 to 20. I'm fine with 20. But he is a volatile running back to Joe Burrow getting hurt. And so there's some ties to Chase Brown that make it a little concerning because he's such a receiving threat, right? When Joe Burrow's not there and he can't catch passes, he's he's outside the top 12 running backs. He's not even a top 12 running back. He's not a running back one when Joe Burrow's hurt. When let's say Hampton let's say the offensive line gets fixed in LAC, but Herbert does miss 5 games, Hampton could still be a running back, top 5 running back. So there's a bit of a difference in dependency Chase Brown has on the receiving part of his game that's so heavily weighted that he's tied to Joe Burrow massively. All right, let me finish off. I got a super chat here from I think I answered that one. Okay, I think we're good. Let me clear the phone line out and then we'll get out of here. DJ, final thoughts, and I'll go over to the other caller, 661. 561. Go ahead, DJ.
The Cardinals and Murray. The possibility that they keep him. But can they support 3 receivers? Wilson, I still think he's the 2. I think McBride would be the 1. It makes Jay, from a cost of entry standpoint, I don't think we're touching him, right? I still think he's going 2 or 3 rounds before Wilson, or has that changed?
I don't know. It's hard right now. They're kind of near the same kind of territory.
Right.
You know.
Right. But I don't know that there's now LaFleur's there, but I don't know if they can support 3 receivers. And you certainly know that won't happen with Murray.
Yeah.
But good possibility. Which is to say, who knows what they're doing. The last thing, Hall, I think he's going to be moved out. Certainly, I think it makes sense. But I think they very well could draft Love. With these 2 draft picks, they can move out, and from a salary standpoint. Last thing, man. I didn't realize Garrett Wilson's making $32 million average a year. So if Garrett Wilson is making that and DK's making $33 million, right now as it stands, Pickens probably looking at a bare minimum 35. I mean, Justin's right now at 35, depending upon what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So, man. Minimum, because Jefferson's 2, Chase's 1 at $40 million. Everybody's plotted within $1 million of each other, 34, 32, etc. So, he's walking in right now, today, minimum 35, in my opinion. Good stuff, Smitty.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Later, guys.
Later, bro. All right, let's see. Any final? Oh, sorry. 561, you're live. 561, you're on mute. What's up, pal? What can I do for you?
I just wanted to let you know. I kind of think they're going to get the deal done with Pick. I just wanted to know what do you think? He can keep up that play if they do get done. And if somebody was to trade for him, I believe it's 2 first rounds. I only think there's a couple teams that would do that. Obviously, they'd probably be late first round picks, like Buffalo and a couple other teams.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think they can keep up the same top 5 offense if they get those up?
I think if they get Pickens inked, bro, the Dallas Cowboys are a top 4 to 7 offense for sure. Or not for sure. I mean, anything can happen, but they're definitely top 4 to 7 capable. No question, they're capable of it. If Pickens does end up leaving Pickens to Green Bay, I mean, are you willing to pay the price? The end of the day, bro, I don't know that this is happening early on. Things got to get messy. Dallas fully intends to keep him. They don't want to pay. There's no way Jerry wants to pay $40 million a year. There's no way Jerry wants to pay $38 million a year. And if JSN and Puka Nacua sign their contracts, Jerry will be wishing that the number was 37. Because it's going to increase. The problem is, if he doesn't want to pay 37, what makes you think he's going to pay 39 or 40 later? Because right now, the cost is 35 to probably 38 million per year. But it will be higher once JSN and Puka Nacua sign $40+ million annual year contract extensions. Because you have 3 players in the 40s. And I just think that number could go up. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe Pickens takes 35. Maybe he takes $35 million even after the JSN and Puka deals. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if he did take 35, look, that's a big contract. Maybe they can give him a lot of upfront money they wouldn't on a $4 million deal. It's kind of like when you buy a car. They might say, hey, you put more down, we can lower the payment, we can do this, we can get your interest rate down. Like the way you're accepting this deal might give him more upfront money, maybe more guaranteed money. Maybe they say, we could probably do the $40 million, but you're not going to get the same guaranteed money. And maybe he says, I want guaranteed money. And they say, we'll give you $100 million guaranteed, $35 million per year. And then he's like, dude, I'll do that. That's over 3 times the annual salary that he's getting guaranteed. Javonte signed a 3-year, $16 million, he signed a 3-year, $24 million deal that is $8 million a year, 16 guaranteed. He got 2 years of it guaranteed. Pickens could get more than 3 years guaranteed, and it's $35 million a year annually. That's acceptable. But I bet Jerry's not even close to 35 right now. You know?
To straight alphas. And I just had one more thing. I don't know what people are watching. You're on the West Coast, so you know more than me about the West Coast. With Jacoby, and he looked like a top 5 quarterback. I just keep him rolling.
Thank you, Aldi. Appreciate you. I mean, I say that every day, bro. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I have no idea why we're not hearing that. No idea. I don't know. People don't know what they're talking about is what that amounts to. You know, if you hear somebody else saying, I don't know what the Cardinals should do at quarterback, or think about Aaron Rodgers. They could trade for this. Like, those people don't know what they're talking about. Like, even if the Cardinals don't do the right thing, the people that are speaking about it, the talking heads everywhere, should be saying that Jacoby's the starter. Now, will the Cardinals screw it up? Maybe. We'll see. I agree with you, bro. I mean, Jacoby's a talent.
Because he passed. I mean, because he played down here in Miami, and he was terrible. But whatever they had cooking, they were cooking.
Yeah.
People are so quick to.
They're not even talking about him, bro. They're not even talking about him. All right. Hey, got to go. Appreciate you, bro. Calling anytime. Later. So, yeah, 30, you know, the more I think about it, I think 35 probably sounds about right. So let me rewrite the board here. This feels right. Like right now, this feels right. I don't know how it's going to feel. Well, actually, let's predict. So we'll say JSN 41 mil. And this is, I'm going to put an asterisk right here because this has not happened yet. So predicting. So predicting this. Number 2 is going to be Puka, I believe, which he might even be tied with Chase at 40, 0.5 or whatever. Jamar Chase at 40.5. And then I believe this JJ deal at 35 is where you're probably going to see Pickens try and fall. And this is kind of, I guess, after these deals come in, when JSN and Puka signed. I feel like 35 with tied for JJ, who's now the 4th best paid wide receiver in the league. This makes sense right here at 35. If these 2 deals don't happen, then maybe the number is more like 34 right now. This does feel right. I think that could Pickens ask for 40 million? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what he's going to ask for, but 35 sounds in line. Hopefully it all plays out right. Guys, I'll be live tomorrow. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever big news breaks, and I'm live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. We'll have a Dynasty show tomorrow. I know we haven't had one yet, but we'll have one probably uploaded tomorrow. Don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. I showed you guys the draft simulator that'll be dropping here really, really soon. So if anybody wants to check out the draft simulator, let me just show a real quick sample of it again and let you guys see it in action. So here's the draft simulator right here, ladies and gentlemen. Redraft Dynasty Superflex, then you want redraft Superflex Dynasty or Superflex Redraft, and it's drafting off, you could do rookie only. If you do a redraft 12 team, 12 rounds, or you could go 14 rounds. We'll go from the 11 pick, you hit draft, boom. Now the draft is underway and you're on the clock instantly. There's no waiting. Put in the comments whether you prefer to see the picks ticking or do you just like it being instant. Like, do we really need to watch it? It's the computer drafting it. If you click here, boom, you're on the clock instantly again. Let's take, let's see here. Let's take Jonathan Taylor, go running back. Now I'm on the clock. It snakes back around. We don't have a wide receiver yet. I have to tweak some of the values on here, by the way. Let's go with Garrett Wilson. Let's go with Garrett Wilson. Whoa, I almost drafted Lamar. Let's go Garrett Wilson. Let me see. And then we have A.J. Brown still available, so we'll go A.J. Brown. So, this is a pretty good team. You can simulate the entire draft by going to the top and hitting Simulate Draft. Then after the draft is done, or even while it's taking place, you can review your team. Looks like the auto selections that I simulated didn't do a good job of balancing the team out, but this is what it auto drafted for me. Cheat sheet form, you can click on this. This is the draft in cheat sheet format, and you can redline these players as they get drafted if you want to use this alongside of your draft. If we go back to board view, scroll to the top, hit reset draft, select, let's just say the same settings, but instead of clicking the draft button, we go ahead and click on this manually build your draft board button. Now all of a sudden, this is the same thing, but you're in control of all the picks. So if I selected the 11 pick and I want to build my own rankings and draft board cheat sheet to draft off of, I draft this in order in which I like these players. Let's say I like JSN next. Let's say I like Puka next. Let's say I like Jamar Chase next. Let's say I like Ashton Genty after that. Let's say CD Lamb. And you just keep building this draft board exactly the way you want it. This is my pick. So I'm really hopeful that one of those other guys falls, right? That's how you're thinking about it. Let's just go JT here. Let's go London here. Let's go Neighbors here. Let's go JJ here, Hampton, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just going to simulate this to speed it along. So you build you can simulate anything at any moment by scrolling up and hitting simulate. And it just auto picks the rest of it. But if this is the manual draft, let's say I completed by myself, I have a team still because I did select a draft selection, and you're still, even if you're building a draft board, you can select your actual pick. You can go to cheat sheet mode, and you can literally, when you're drafting off of your own, this is a cheat sheet. You can either just print it out, or you can draft off this. You can build it real quickly before your draft off it and check every player off like this as they get drafted, and use this as your personal cheat sheet that you build for your draft. So it's all at thefantasyfootballshow.com. That feature will be launched in the next 24 hours or so. So it'll be awesome. And when we do mock drafts, I can utilize that tool myself to show you guys what I would do. And I'm going to go through mock drafts using my own mock draft tool. So see you all 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight most every single night. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Aldi. Thank you, Monkey. Thank you, D-Money KC. Thank you, everybody over on Rumble. Thank you, everybody over on YouTube. Susaini, Shelly, Shane, Vader, Travis, if he's out there. Drawing, appreciate you. Get ready for that feature, bro. See you all at midnight tomorrow night, and at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, and probably live before that. Probably at least 3 shows tomorrow, 3 live streams tomorrow, I imagine. 1 afternoon or morning show, 1 8 p.m. show, 1 graveyard show. See you tomorrow.